10 times humanity came through for man's best friend. Number 10. You can't have her back. After finding a pit bull they named Kathy at a high-kill animal shelter, the new owner decided to write the old owners a letter that she posted on Craigslist. It starts by saying that she knows that the person got evicted and that the dog was seized and held in an animal cruelty investigation. She goes on to describe the horrors that poor Kathy had been through. Not only did she have cigarette burns on her face and ears, but she was super skinny and malnourished, and she had been forced to carry numerous litters and even carried a scar from a C-section. Throughout the rest of her letter, she goes on to tell previous owners that Kathy is now doing better than fine. She's now one healthy and very happy dog. She even ends her letter saying, P.S. You can't have her back. Here, in this picture, you can see Kathy just relaxing during a lazy Saturday with her loving family. Number 9. Hotel manager saves dog from decapitation. Thanks to the quick thinking and reaction time of this South Carolina hotel manager, this dog didn't end up reenacting a scene from a horror movie. When a guest of the hotel entered the elevator, he didn't see that his dog was more than a few steps behind. When the elevator door shut, the dog's leash was still caught in the door, with the poor dog on the other side. Thankfully, Ben Duke, the manager of the hotel, was just coming around the corner and managed to grab the dog and unhook the leash just in the nick of time. The scared and crying owner ran down the stairs just in time to see the rescue. This picture is hard to decipher, but this is security footage of Ben Duke saving the dog and saving the day. Number 8. The burn victim turned hero. Jake was just a tiny puppy when the shed he lived in caught on fire, and he found himself trapped inside. Luckily for him, his neighbor was a veteran firefighter named Bill Lindler, who came to the rescue after the owners began to shout for help. Bill saved Jake's life, but not before the poor pup suffered burns on 75% of his tiny body. Because his vet bills were so expensive, his family could no longer keep him, and Bill stepped in to save the day again. Not only did he adopt the dog, but he paid for all of his vet bills and treatment too. These days, Tiny Jake has grown a lot bigger in size, and he now works with the local fire department as an arson detection dog. Now that's what you call giving back. In this picture, you can see Jake as a puppy, and in this photo, you see him all grown up, proudly at work, sitting in the fire truck. Number 7. Braving freezing waters. A young dog owner ended up jumping into a frozen lake to rescue her pet beagle. The two were just enjoying a day at the park when her beagle ran off after a bird. The bird came to rest on a thin sheet of ice covering the lake located at the park. Of course, not understanding the danger, the beagle took off after the bird, and to the horror of both bystanders and the owner, the dog fell through the ice. Just seconds after her dog disappeared, the young girl jumped into the frozen lake fully clothed and began swimming towards the spot she had last seen her dog. She had to punch through the ice, but she had successfully pulled her dog out. Both the dog and the owner are doing great and are much warmer now. Here you can see her swimming back to the shore with her dog. Number 6. Faith in humanity. You'll really have your faith in humanity restored after hearing about this story about a dog rescue in Kazakhstan. A scared dog was stuck in a sarin reservoir in the city of Almaty in southeastern Kazakhstan. A man walking by spots the dog and decides to try to help. He hops over the railing and climbs down into the reservoir, gets a hold of the dog and gets him over to one side. Then people from the top of the reservoir slope start to create a human chain in order to pull them both up. Of course, because everyone came together and helped, both the man and the rescued dog make it to the top. You can find the video of this daring rescue anywhere on the web. And if you have the chance to watch it, you'll hear the cheers and screams of success at the end. It's pretty amazing. In this trio of pictures, you can see the progress from one to the next. In the first, the man is getting the dog to one side. In the second, you can see the chain starting to form. And by the third picture, you can see the full chain in effect, saving the day. Number 5. Gasping for air. Roxy was just going for another walk with pet parent Rodolphe Combs when something went wrong, and the little Pomeranian Chihuahua mix started to gasp for air like she couldn't breathe. Stepping into action quickly, Combs pulled from all of the knowledge he had both from a doggy first aid course and also from his human first aid training as well. Thanks to his skills, he was able to make sure that she could breathe enough to get to the vet. After the vet removed several bone fragments from her throat, she was okay. She runs around now like nothing ever happened, and the vet that performed the surgery was so inspired by this little dog's story that they start to teach pet first aid courses so that other pet parents will know how to save their animals if the need comes. Number 4. Fending off coyotes. When dog owner Nettie Blanco saw a coyote jump the fence and enter her backyard to go after a small dog, she jumped to the rescue. She lives in Highlands Park in Colorado, a place that is full of wild predators like coyotes. She said she had seen the coyote jump the fence that surrounds and protects her yard. Knowing that her precious little dog was playing out back, she sprung into action and even leaped over the fence itself to get to the coyote. After hopping over the fence, Nettie ran right up to the coyote and punched it squarely in the face. Startled, the coyote got spooked and ran back over the fence. After the incident, she had said during an interview with CBS Denver that if you live in an area with coyotes, you need to be supervising your pets at all times. She's absolutely right too. If she hadn't been there, who knows what would have happened to her pup. In this picture, you can see Nettie holding the dog she punched the coyote for. Number 3. The Rescue of Nalu. During the afternoon on Tuesday, March 21st, 2017, Crystal Lamirande came home to some of the worst possible news. Her apartment was on fire, and her beloved dog was still inside. Nalu was a Bichon Frise and Shih Tzu mix that Crystal had for 10 years. Upon hearing about the dog still inside, Los Angeles firefighters ran into the burning building in search of him. Andrew Klein was the heroic firefighter that returned from the flames holding a limp dog in his arms. He laid Nalu on the ground before he began giving him mouth-to-snout resuscitation. You can see him in this picture giving the Bichon mix the mouth-to-snout technique. Even though it took Klein and other rescuers more than 20 minutes using a special pet oxygen mask, as well as other life-saving techniques, it worked and Nalu was saved. Nalu was up and walking around again, and at that time, Crystal took him to a vet to be held and observed for 24 hours just to make sure he was okay. She said by the end of the week he was back to normal. Thank goodness for the hard work and courage these firefighters showed LA. They truly saved the day. Number 2. Coming together for a greater good. Nearly 2 years ago, there was a severe flooding in both Texas as well as Oklahoma, which ended up claiming lives and leaves many others homeless. Of course, it was hard to find shelter for all of the humans. Just imagine what was going on with all of the animals. The shelters were not only flooded themselves, but they were jammed packed with animals. One such shelter decided to take pictures of their unusable flooded shelter and beg the community to come get and house the animals, if just long enough for the storms to pass. The communities obliged and began lining up outside the shelter. This picture shows part of the line of people lining up to help save these animals. The majority of the homes that offered to take the pets ended up keeping them and becoming their forever homes. Number 1. Saving strays. A young man named Shih is our hero for the week for sure. Back in September of 2010, Shih noticed a stray dog that had been roaming around the neighborhood looking for food. He fed the stray some scraps and didn't think anything of it. A day or two later, Shih sees the dog again, feeds it, and decided to follow the dog to see where it went. To his surprise, he found the stray had given birth to a whole litter of puppies under a group of trees near his house. In this picture, you can see the puppies when they are still living under the trees. They are only a few weeks old here. Since the weather was getting colder and it would soon start raining, Shih opened up his garage and backyard in hopes to lure the little family to safety. It took a few days, but the mother dog moved her family into the safety of the garage. You can see the little family in this picture, just a few days after arriving at their new home with Shih. A few days after their arrival, the mother dog put her guard down and let Shih pet her and even handle her puppies. Shih patiently waited for the puppies to get old enough to leave their mom, and he found each of them a good forever home. He did keep the mother and one golden puppy he named Honey for himself.